5 years later, the Billionaire murders still unsolved. December 15, 2017. A cold winter morning in Toronto. At 50 Old Colony Road, in one of the city's wealthiest neighborhoods, the Sherman mansion stood silent. Inside, a realtor was preparing for a showing of the sprawling $7 million home. Barry and Honey Sherman, the billionaire couple who owned it, had recently put it up for sale. The agent entered through the side door, walking past the empty hallways into the indoor pool area, and that's where everything changed. She froze in horror. By the poolside, sitting side by side on low pool railings, were Barry and Honey Sherman. Both were lifeless. Both were strangled with belts, their bodies staged in an eerie, almost ritualistic position. There was no blood, no forced entry, no sign of robbery, just silence. It was a scene that would send shockwaves through Canada, and 5 years later, it still haunts the nation. The news spread quickly. Barry Sherman was no ordinary man. He was the founder of Apotex, a pharmaceutical empire worth billions. He had revolutionized generic drugs, fought relentless legal battles, and donated millions to political campaigns and charities. Honey Sherman was equally well known. A philanthropist, warm and outgoing, deeply loved in Toronto's Jewish community. Together, they were a power couple, untouchable, or so it seemed. But now, in the heart of their luxury home, they were gone. At first, investigators weren't sure what to make of the crime scene. Early reports whispered the unthinkable. Could this have been a murder-suicide? Was Barry responsible for his wife's death before taking his own life in some twisted final act? The family immediately pushed back. Their 4 children, Jonathan, Lauren, Alexandra, and Kaylin, were adamant. This was not their parents. Honey and Barry had built an empire together. They had fought through adversity for decades. Yes, Barry was embroiled in lawsuits. Yes, his business was under pressure. But murder-suicide? Impossible. Still, Toronto police hesitated. For 6 long weeks, the theory lingered. Media headlines repeated it. The family grew furious. Behind the scenes, they hired private investigators to do what they felt the police had failed to: treat this case as homicide. And then, finally, the tide turned. Forensic evidence began to tell a darker story. Both Barry and Honey showed signs of ligature strangulation, deliberate, methodical. Honey's body revealed signs of blunt force trauma, a struggle. Barry's did not. Experts concluded she was attacked first, Barry afterward. The scene had been staged to confuse investigators, not explain itself. The belts used? Household items. Their coats? Still on their shoulders, suggesting they had either just returned home or were preparing to leave when they were ambushed. No forced entry. No stolen valuables. No ransom note. This was no accident. No self-inflicted tragedy. It was murder. But who had done it? To understand the suspects, you had to understand Barry Sherman's world. He was a billionaire, yes, but not the type who coasted quietly on wealth. Barry was combative, relentless, unapologetic. Apotex had waged war against brand-name pharmaceutical giants for decades. Every victory earned him fortunes, but also enemies. Rivals had lost billions at his hands. Some lawsuits were ongoing even as he died. Could one of them have gone too far? Then there was politics. Barry was a major donor to Canada's Liberal Party. He hosted fundraisers attended by the Prime Minister himself. His influence in government was undeniable. But influence can be dangerous. Whispers emerged that his political ties may have placed him in the crosshairs of powerful adversaries. And still, another theory grew darker. The lack of forced entry suggested trust. Whoever killed Barry and Honey may have been someone they knew. Someone let in willingly or someone with access. Was this betrayal from within their circle? For months, police chased leads, but nothing concrete surfaced. Security cameras in the neighborhood captured vague shapes and shadows, but no clear suspect. Phone records revealed nothing unusual. Financial records showed no suspicious activity. It was as though the killers had vanished into the night, leaving only questions behind. And yet, the details that remained were haunting. The belts. the poolside staging, the silence. Some experts called it ritualistic. Others said it bore the hallmarks of a professional hit. But if it was a hit, who ordered it? And why leave the bodies in such a symbolic pose? Years passed. The family kept fighting. They funded their own investigation. They demanded police accountability. They gave interviews, reminding the public of their parents' legacy and their determination to find answers. Toronto police, after years of criticism, finally confirmed what the family knew all along. Barry and Honey Sherman had been murdered, but they stopped short of naming suspects. To this day, no one has been arrested. Meanwhile, the fallout rippled. Hospitals and charities that Honey had supported struggled to fill the void she left behind. Toronto's wealthy elite, once secure in their gated enclaves, whispered in fear. If this could happen to the Shermans, it could happen to anyone. And Barry's reputation remained as complex as ever. To some, he was a hero who made medicine affordable. To others, a ruthless businessman who made too many enemies. By the 5th anniversary in December 2022, the pain had not faded. Their children continued to press for justice. The community still spoke of the Shermans in hushed tones, and investigators still had no answers. Theories swirled endlessly: corporate rival, political adversary, personal betrayal, professional hitman, but all remained speculation. And so, 5 years later, the Billionaire murders remain unsolved. The lesson, however, is undeniable. Wealth cannot shield you from danger. Influence cannot guarantee safety. Even in the most protected neighborhoods, behind gates and walls, lives can end in silence. For the police, this case is a warning that hesitation in the earliest days of an investigation can cost justice. For the family, it is a lifetime of grief without closure. And for all of us, it is a reminder that behind even the brightest success stories, shadows can loom unseen. The mansion on Old Colony Road has since been torn down, replaced by new construction. But for those who remember, the land is haunted. Not by ghosts, but by unanswered questions. Who killed Barry and Honey Sherman? Why were their lives ended in such a staged, deliberate way? And will justice ever find its way to the truth? 5 years later, the silence remains, and the mystery endures.